Yesterday we discussed gratuity, tax treatment of gratuity. In case of government employees, if getting gratuity at the time of retirement or death, that is tax free. And if any employee who is covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972, if that person receives gratuity at the time of retirement or death, then least of the 3 points is exempt. My first point was 15 days salary based on salary last drawn in excess of 6 months, on the basis of service in excess of 6 months. Or you can say precisely on the basis of completed year of service in excess of 6 months. Second point of exemption was rupees 20 lakh, and third point was gratuity actually received. Salary for that purpose is basic plus DNS allowance. And we take latest month's salary, we divide it by 26 multiplied by 15, we get 15 days salary. We multiply it by year of service completed which are in excess of 6 months. That means any fraction of the year till 6 months will be ignored. If any fraction of the year which exceeds 6 months, that will be taken as complete 1 year. On this basis, we computed the amount of taxable gratuity as far as the employees who are covered. Then we started some discussion on the tax treatment of gratuity when received in, of course, year previous year. In case of an employee who is not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972, that means any non-government employee who is not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972. For that person also, least of the 3 points will be exempt from tax, and the remaining amount of gratuity will be taxable. So those 3 points are what? Half month salary based on completed year of service, half month average monthly salary, you can say, or half month salary based on average monthly salary for each completed year of service. Second point is rupees 20 lakh, and third point is gratuity actually received. In such cases, when gratuity is received by an employee who is not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act at the time of retirement or leaving the job or at the time of death, then salary for this purpose includes 3 things: basic plus DA forming part plus commission based on fixed percentage of turnover achieved by the employee. Then we take salary of 10 months. 10 months means count 10 months from the latest years of service, that means last years of service, ignoring the month of retirement. That gives you 10 months salary. You divide it by 10, you get 1 month salary, or you can say average monthly salary. You further divide it by 2, you get half month salary. You multiply this half month salary with that completed year of service, and here every fraction of the year will be completely ignored, even if exceeding 6 months. That's all. This is the theory of this situation when gratuity is received at the time of retirement or death. In case of an employee who is not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972, we have not yet discussed the numerical of this case, but this is what we have discussed in the last lecture. If you remember it, please raise your hands. If you remember this point, please raise your hands. Okay, now let us start discussing a numerical of this case. Is this slide visible?
Yes, sir.
So let me discuss one case with you. So again, I am discussing an example from my book. Concept Building Approach, page 4.9. So you take the screenshot of this example. Take the screenshot of this example. If you have taken the screenshot, raise your hands. If you have taken the screenshot, please raise your hands. So I think most of you have taken this screenshot. So let us start discussing this case. X is employed by P Limited. He is not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972. He is not covered. P Limited, that means non-government employee. He has received the gratuity of rupees 23 lakh from his employer on 31st December 2020. 31st December 20 is in my previous year 2021, so I am concerned about this tax treatment. Had this date of receiving gratuity not been in my previous year, I would not have been concerned about that tax treatment for my previous year. I am concerned with the tax treatment in my previous year 2020-21. Since I received 23 lakh gratuity, I need to check whether it is fully taxable, fully exempt or partially exempt. His basic salary during Jan 2020 to June 2020 was 50,000 per month. And during July 20 to December 20 was 60,000 per month. He has also received DNS allowance at 20% of salary. 60% of DNS allowance forms part of salary, forms part for the purpose of computing his retirement benefits. Bonus of 4,000 per month, commission of 5,000 per month, compute his taxable gratuity for the assessment year 21-22, assuming that he has retired after servicing the company for 28 years and 11 months. Now, what is happening in this case? Employee not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act. Employee neither a government employee because P Limited, so I can say non-government, and also not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act.
So how can we say he's not a government employee?
P Limited कभी गवर्नमेंट का नाम थोड़ा ना होता है. गवर्नमेंट का नाम तो क्या होता है? सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट हो सकता है, हरियाणा गवर्नमेंट हो सकता है, तमिलनाडु गवर्नमेंट हो सकता है. पी लिमिटेड थोड़ा ना हो सकता है.
सर कंपनी का नेम, गवर्नमेंट कंपनी.
गवर्नमेंट कंपनी हो सकती है, बट वी आर नॉट सेइंग गवर्नमेंट कंपनी. गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉइज मीन जो मिनिस्ट्रीज वगैरह में एम्प्लॉइज हैं.
ओके सर.
ठीक है, HRD मिनिस्ट्री में है, फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री में है. गवर्नमेंट कंपनी इज ए सेपरेट थिंग. ओके.
Yes sir.
And also when you see the detail further, for our level these things are not relevant, but if you go into the detail further, then you will find that government means what. Like for gratuity, government might include employees of local authority also. For other retirement benefit, government might include the employees of any statutory organization also, like RBI for example. So in for our semester 3 level, we are only dealing with government and non-government, but in real life, when any such case come, we will actually check that this government includes what. Okay, but that is a detailed level a study that is not required for our level. Point clear?
Yes sir.
Okay. Employee non-government oblique not covered under Payment of Gratuity Act 1972. Gratuity is received in my previous year. So I have to compute the tax treatment. So what I will say, out of rupees 23 lakh received as gratuity, least of the following is exempt from tax. So what is my point 1? Half month salary so based on average monthly salary for each completed year of service. This is what my point 1 is. My second point is flat 20 lakh amount specified by the government, and then rupees 23 lakh being gratuity actually received. Now, only first point requires some calculation. So let us compute salary first. Now, what is salary in this case? First of all, employee retired on 31st December 20. So I will take the salary of 10 months, ignoring the month of December. So my salary of 10 months will be from 1st Feb 20 till 30th November 20. This is one point which you should remember. I am ignoring the month of December. Now, how much is basic salary for this period? So let me check how much is basic salary. It is from Jan to June 50,000, from July onwards 60,000. So Jan to June 50. But I'm not concerned with Jan. I'm concerned from Feb, March, April, May, June. For 5 months, 50,000 plus. For next 5 months, July, August, September, October, November, 60,000. So that will be 5 lakh 50 plus DNS allowance forming part. How much is DNS allowance forming part? First of all, I do not know even DA. So how much is DA? 20% of salary is the amount of DNS allowance. Now everything will be from 10 months. So if 10 months salary is 5 lakh 50,000, if 10 months salary is 5 lakh 50, so 10 months DA is how much? 20% of 550. and within bracket 60% of DA forming parts, DA forms part for the purpose of computing retirement benefits. So how much is DA forming part? 60% of DA. So this percentage 20% into this only tells the amount of DA. And when you multiply the amount of DA with 60%, it tells you DA forming part of salary for computing retirement benefits. So how much is this?
66,000.
No, I think no. Maybe my calculation is wrong. Into 60%. Yes, my calculation was wrong. It is 60,000. Now, can anyone tell me what is this DA forming part? This is conceptual point. What is DA forming part? Calculation is not a big deal. What is this DA forming part? This is what I want to ask.
So that the company uses this much part of the DNS allowance to calculate gratuity.
No. No. Any other answer? What do you mean by DA forming part? Okay, so let me explain. So let us have a separate discussion meaning of DA forming part. It is not a discussion of that gratuity question. It is altogether a separate topic, meaning of DA forming part. Now, for example, my basic salary is 1 lakh per month. For example, it's only an example. My DNS allowance is, for example, 30% of basic salary. It is my DNS allowance, 30% of basic salary. And then I have so many other benefits also, and this is what I am earning. This is my salary. Normally, now after some time, of course, at one particular age, I will retire. Everyone retires. So when this employee is retired, when the employee retires, he will get some retirement benefits. He will get some retirement benefits. Now, what can be those retirement benefits? It can be gratuity, it can be pension, it can be leave encashment, it can be provident fund, anything, anything. So whatever retirement benefits he will get, he will get. But do you know how these retirement benefits are calculated? The calculation is having different rules. Let me give you a simple example of pension. It's a simple example. Otherwise, every retirement benefit is having separate rule for its computation, that how much will be given to the employee. So that is not our job to compute how much will be given to the employee. As a person in taxation, I will compute how much is exempt for an employee. How much is given, that is none of our business. Simple example is pension. How pension is given? Can anyone make a judgment that how pension will be given? Will pension be given flat? For example, 40,000 per month? Will it be given at flat? Or it will be given at some percentage? For example, 20% of basic salary or 20% of salary will be pension. Can anyone make a judgment that which is more logical? Should pension be in this example? It's only a hypothetical example. When I am earning 1 lakh per month and 30% of basic salary was my DA. I am simply explaining you the meaning of DA forming part. For the same employee, suppose after retirement pension is fixed at 40,000 per month, or pension is fixed at 20% of salary. I am simply asking a question: which of these two methods to fix pension is more logical? Can you make a judgment which is more logical?
So the percentage one.
Why?
So
Why
because
percentage?
increases in salary is reflected in the pension then?
Yes.
Changes in salary rather.
Yes, yes. Now, for example, you give pension at 40,000 per month. Maybe for first 5 years after retirement, this looks like a handsome amount. But in these 5 years, inflation has also happened. Or even after 5 years, inflation will go on. My cost of living will rise, value of money falls, and still I'll be getting same pension. And suppose in the 6th year or 10th year, then I won't like 40,000 per month much. Because at that time, it is possible that the value of money has fallen and this 40,000 per month doesn't look a respectable or big amount for me as a pensioner. Because it has been fixed at 40,000 and that is why it is not taking into consideration inflation. Now, if I say that rather than 40,000 per month, your pension will be fixed at 20% of salary. This is another way. For example, rather than 40,000 flat per month, your pension is fixed at 20% of salary. Then again, one question arises that this salary is basic salary or what? If it is basic salary, then my pension is how much? 20,000 per month. If it is only basic salary, my pension will be 20,000 per month. This amount also looks good for me in the initial years, but not always, because after some time money value will fall of money in terms of rupee. So the value of money goes down after some year. But if the same company says that when we will give you pension, we will not give 20% of basic only, we will give you 20% of basic plus DA. Suppose these are the agreement terms, that 20% of basic plus DA. So how much is basic?
So
1 lakh. How much is DA?
So 30%.
30,000. Okay. So total becomes 130. Then multiplied by 20%. That will be
26.
So at least I'm getting some higher amount. Okay. But that is also not feasible in long, or for long it is not so feasible. Because DA has been fixed at flat 30% to me. But DA rate will keep on rising after some time. So the same method can also be said in another way. It might look good to me as an employee, but my employer might say that why will we take DA also to give you the pension? My employer might say that we will give you the pension on percentage basis, and that will not be only on basic, but we will not take 100% DA. For example, they say that your pension will be based on 60% of DA. So in this case, my pension per month will become 1 lakh plus 60% of DA. How much is 60% of DA? So right now, if DA is 30% of basic, which is 30,000 into 60%, that means 18,000 DA. This comes out to be 1 lakh 80, and then I multiply it by 20% to check how much pension I will get from my company. It will be 1 lakh 18 into 20%, 23,600. So I have shown you different ways to grant a retirement benefit. For example, that retirement benefit is pension. It can be given to me on flat or absolute terms. It can be given to me on percentage, but only on basic. It can be given to me on some percentage on basic as well as 100% DA. It can be given to me on basic plus some percentage of DA. So can you tell me now, in this case, how much is DA forming part, or what is the meaning of DA forming part? DA forming part means that much amount of DA which is included to compute an employee's retirement benefits. DA forming part is that part of DA which is included in computing retirement benefits of the employee. So in this box, how much is DA forming part? Can you tell me? How much is DA forming part? How much is DA forming part? How much is DA forming part?
18,000.
No, in percentage, because 18 can change.
60.
60%. 18 can change. So in this bracket, I will say that 60% of DA forms part of salary to compute retirement benefit. This is what the meaning of forming part. In this case, how much is DA forming part?
0%.
0%. So there is no DA which forms part. Nil. How much is DA forming part in this case?
100.
100%. So in this case, DA forming part is 100. How much is DA forming part in this case? Nil. There was no DA forming part in that case. I assume that it is flat 40,000 per month. So there is no question of DA forming part. Is the point a little bit clear that what is this DA forming part? That much percentage of DA which is included to compute your retirement benefit. I have assumed in my example that I received only one retirement benefit, which is pension. So my DA forming part will be based on how much is included in giving me the pension. Had there been leave encashment also, then also I would have checked how much is common percentage of DA which forms part. Now in this case, suppose you are getting only pension, then you can say that DA forming part is 60%. This is what we have just computed in this. If this table is the approach adopted by this particular company, then I will say that DA forming part is 60% without any doubt. Suppose the same employee receives leave encashment also. This is also a retirement benefit. Suppose the same employee receives leave encashment also. In leave encashment, for example, 40% of DA is included. 40% of DNS allowance is included to compute retirement benefits. 40% DA is included to compute retirement benefit. Now in this example, I have made one more assumption that employee is not receiving only pension as the retirement benefit. This employee is also receiving leave encashment. But in leave encashment, to give me the leave encashment, only 40% of DA is included to compute retirement benefit of leave encashment. Now my question is, if you are getting two retirement benefits and in one retirement benefit 60% forms part, in another 40% forms part, can you tell me the answer? How much is DA forming part? Or how much percentage is known as DA forming part? How much is DA forming part logically? 40%. That much percentage of DA which is common to compute all retirement benefit, that percentage is known as DA forming part. Because for one retirement benefit, your 60% DA forms part. For another retirement benefit, 40% of DA form part. How much is common percentage which is for all retirement benefits? 40%. So whenever you get two retirement benefit or more than two retirement benefit, DA forming part is that much percentage of DA which is included to compute all such retirement benefits. Is the point conceptually clear? If yes, please raise your hand. Otherwise, ask me the doubts.
Sir, so in the last case, we only include the common part of the DF in different retirement benefits, like 40% in the leave encashment, and in the pension also we include 40%.
Yes. only that much percentage of DA which is common to compute how much I will receive. To compute exemption also, that common percentage will be used. You cannot say that for computing gratuity I will take 60% of DA forming part, and for computing leave encashment I will take 40% of DA forming part. That is not allowed. To get the exemption, DA forming part is that common percentage which is included to compute the receiving of all different retirement benefits. Point clear?
So in other words, we can say the minimum of the two, right?
Minimum of the two, yes. You should say minimum of the two. Point clear? Shall I proceed? If this point is clear, please raise your hand. So we will come back to our question of gratuity.
Sir, can you just explain in a jiffy again?
What?
So the whole concept again, if you can just in 1 or 2 minutes.
Whole concept of what? Gratuity or this DA forming part?
DA forming part, sir.
You have to simply remember one line, that for computing exemption under the head salaries, wherever DA forming part word or words are used, check that much amount of DA or that much percentage of DA which is included to compute different retirement benefits received by an employee. That common amount of DA which is included to compute retirement benefits which will be received by the employee.
Got it, sir.
Okay. Now come back to the question. So I can simply write that DA forming part means the DA which is included to compute the amount of different retirement benefits received by an employee. For benefits, retirement benefit 1, for example, this much is DA. For retirement benefit 2, for example, this much of DA is used. So DA forming part means out of these how much is common. Okay, so from this we will bring out common. Okay, so I hope the point is clear. Now I'm completing my case. There was some break in internet, so I think for some seconds I was not audible by you. Now you come back to that question. I hope you have the screenshot. So let us see that question. Now in that question we are simply computing salary of 10 months. Now I can say that how much is DA forming part. In my question, he also received DA 20% of salary, 60% forms part for computing his retirement benefit. I have explained the meaning. Value is of course with us. Let plus commission based on fixed percentage, commission based on fixed percentage of turnover achieved by an employee. Can you tell me how much commission I will include here? How much is the commission given? How much is the commission given in this question? 5,000 per month. So how much commission I will include here?
So 50,000.
50,000. Is 50,000 correct to be included here or not? Should I include 50,000 here?
Sir, I have a doubt because it should be a percentage of turnover, right?
Yes. That means I cannot include every commission. So it will be what? Nil. It is fixed commission even if I achieve any turnover or not. It does not depend upon my turnover. So I cannot include fixed commission. Wherever you see the sentence commission based on fixed percentage of turnover achieved by the employee, you should check for that commission which is variable. My percentage can be fixed. My percentage of commission can be fixed, for example 5% of turnover, but amount will vary. If I achieve high turnover, my commission will rise. If I achieve low turnover, my commission will fall down. So this 50,000 I should not include. It is not fixed commission. It says commission which is based on fixed percentage of turnover. So if turnover is not given, that percentage is not given, I cannot include that commission. This is my salary for the purpose of computing exemption of gratuity received by an employee who is not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972. So this value is 550 plus 66, 6 lakh 60. Now it is very easy. Now it was note 1 salary. What is average monthly salary? Average monthly salary is total of 10 months salary divided by 10. Very simple. That will be 61600. Now again half month salary is also very simple. If I got average monthly salary, then half month salary is average monthly salary divided by 2. That will be 3800. That's it. Now the question is almost over. So my first point was that detail you can write that sentence. Half month salary I have just computed 3800 multiplied by completed year. So for completed year, every fraction of the year will be ignored even if exceeding 6 months. Because in case of employee not covered, I ignore every fraction. So it is 28. This is my first point. That's it. So it will be 30,800 into 28. 8,62,400. Remaining points I have already computed. So how much is exempt? Rupees 8,62,400 being the least is exempt from tax. Therefore, how do you compute taxable value? Out of received 23 lakh, how much is exempt? 862,400, and this is the difference. 14 lakh 37,600. So being a tax expert, your job will be to show 14 lakh 37,600 in the income tax return of the concerned person. So I will write in the final column where I will compute my total salary, taxable gratuity, and simply note. And all these workings are in the note. That's it. This is what gratuity note covered. If yes, clear, please raise your hand. Otherwise, ask me the doubt. If you want to note down any slide, you can tell me. I will wait. Otherwise, raise your hand if the concept is clear.
Sir, could you show the next slide?
Yeah. This is next. Is it visible? Or shall I increase or show you full screen?
No, sir.
Okay.
Can you show the DA one as well?
Yeah. DA where I did the computation of DA forming part.
Forming part.
Okay. First, let Sanjay complete it. Sanjay, if you have noted down
Okay,
or
done.
over, okay, DA forming part. This is DA forming part.
So when do we have to take the fraction into account and when not?
Clear? Shall we proceed?
So when do we have to take the fraction into account and when not?
If only completed year of service is written, then you cannot take any fraction. Wherever you see the words completed year of service in excess of 6 months, there you have to take that fraction which exceeds 6 months. Okay?
Okay, so but sir, here also there were 11 months, more than
Yeah.
6.
But in case of gratuity, when an employee is not covered in excess of 6 months, words are missing. It only says on the basis of completed year of service. They are not using the words in excess of 6 months. In excess of 6 months was used in case an employee who is covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act.
Okay, sir.
Clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now please raise your hand if concept is clear so that I can move on. Okay, so let's move on. So I have covered 3 different tax statements of gratuity received at the time of retirement or leaving the job in case of government employee or an employee who is covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972 or an employee who is neither a government employee not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972. So at the time of retirement, leaving the job is covered. Now what happens if during continuity the gratuity is received? What happens? See, what we have covered is, let me go to the last class slide. So I have covered all these 3. This is covered, this is covered, this is covered. In case of continuity of employment, when someone is getting gratuity, normally it does not happen. Normally it does not happen, but still, if someone is getting gratuity during continuity of job, it is fully taxable. It does not matter who you are, whether you are a government employee, non-government employee, it doesn't matter. Fully taxable for all types of employees or for all employees. Government, non-government, special category, not special category, does not matter. It is fully taxable whenever gratuity is received at the time of continuing the job, then gratuity is always taxable fully and there is no exemption granted. With this, the gratuity concept is over from my side. So I have covered only one concept, which is gratuity. How do we compute exemption in case of this gratuity, which is a retirement benefit? Now I am moving to the next concept, which is pension. Pension is another retirement benefit. So let us discuss the tax treatment of pension. It is second concept. So this is how we will complete salary. Pension is also a retirement benefit. And how do we compute the tax treatment of pension? Now, there are two schemes in pension. One is new pension scheme. I hope you must have listened this name, NPS. It is new pension scheme.
Yes.
It is new pension scheme. Every government employee who is joining the job or who has joined the job on or after 1st Jan 2004. These people are covered under new pension scheme because old pension has been abolished. 31st December 2003 was the last date when that old pension scheme was available. Now we don't have any pension even in government sector. There is no pension given to any government employee now. That person who is joining the government job on or after 1st Jan 2004, we have new pension scheme where every year, every month, employee contributes some amount, employer contributes some amount, that amount goes to the share market, the money invested there, and whatever the share market gives return, that will be given to you when you retire. That's it. Otherwise, government is now under no obligation to give any employee pension after retirement. So this is new pension scheme. By default, since it is new, so to the earlier scheme, we have given the name old pension scheme. Otherwise, there is no such name old pension scheme. I have given the name old pension scheme. In my book, I am using this old pension as old pension scheme. Otherwise, there is no such word. But since we have new pension scheme, by default, earlier scheme become old scheme. So tax treatment of both the pensions is different. NPS, I will discuss with you later on, not right now. So let me first discuss new pension scheme. How do we compute, or what is the tax treatment of new pension scheme? Sorry, of not new, old pension scheme. Now, what is this old pension scheme? When employee retires, after retirement, every month pension was given to the employee who was in government sector. Now, pension is given on monthly basis or lump sum. You cannot give pension. It was not given on half yearly basis, quarterly basis, yearly basis. No. There were only two options, and there are two options even. Either you get monthly pension every month, or you get lump sum payment. That's it. Close the chapter of monthly, etc. You get lump sum payment. Monthly pension is known as uncommuted. Uncommuted pension, dictionary meaning uncommuted, not joined. Lump sum is known as commuted pension. So I'm discussing old pension scheme. So everywhere you see the word pension and not NPS word, by default that is old pension scheme. In case of old pension scheme, so I have given you two different ways in which pension can be received. So what is this? What are these two different ways in which pension can be received? Monthly, which is known as uncommuted, and lump sum, which is known as commuted. Uncommuted pension is fully taxable. Fully taxable. It does not matter who the employee is, whether government employee or non-government employee. It is fully taxable. Fully taxable. But you receive monthly, it is fully taxable. As far as commuted pension is concerned, it is not fully taxable. It depends who the employee is. Is the employee government employee? Or is the employee non-government employee? In case of government employee, it is fully exempt. No tax, fully exempt, tax free. In case of non-government employee, again, there are two different possibilities. If employee also receives gratuity, that means employee must be getting two benefits there, pension as well as gratuity. So this will tell me how much is my exemption, whether I am receiving gratuity or not. Whether employee receives, or if employee receives gratuity. Gratuity has technically no relationship with pension, but to compute the exemption of old pension scheme, it is simply checked. We will only see whether this employee is receiving gratuity or not. If this employee receives gratuity, then exemption is less. Suppose you are getting gratuity also, then government gives you less exemption because you are already getting another retirement benefit, which is gratuity apart from pension. So your exemption is less. Your exemption is 1/3 of commuted value. 1/3 of commuted value. And if employee does not receive gratuity, your exemption is 1/2, because here exemption will be 50% of commuted value. In earlier case, when you are receiving gratuity, your exemption is only 33%. So remaining 67% you can say taxable. Here 50% becomes taxable. Exemption is 1/2 of commuted value. Now, I'm not saying exactly 67% taxable or 50% taxable. I simply want to explain you that when someone is receiving gratuity, exemption is less. When someone is not receiving gratuity, exemption is more. Exemption is 1/2 of commuted value. Is this chart clear? If yes, please raise your hand. If chart is clear. Example, I will now assume. Old pension scheme, if someone is receiving uncommuted pension, fully taxable, whether the employee is government employee, non-government. If someone is receiving commuted pension, in case of government employee, fully exempt. In case of non-government employee, two situations, whether employee receives gratuity or not. If employee receives gratuity, exemption is 1/3 of full value. If employee is not receiving gratuity, exemption is more, half, 50% of commuted value. Let me give you an example now. So let me discuss an example. Again, let us discuss an example from my book, Concept Building Approach. Page number 4.13. So let me write this example. It's a small example. I retired from a private job. I retired from a private job on 30th June 20. I retired from a private job on 30th June 20 from a private job. That means a non-government employee. And after retirement, he started receiving pension. Of course, pension is not given before retirement. Pension is the thing which starts after retirement. This is sure. After retirement, he started receiving pension of 40,000 per month. After retirement, he started receiving pension 40,000 per month. On 1st Feb 21, what happened? On 1st Feb 21, what happened? He gets 80% of the pension commuted. After some months, he thought that rather than receiving per month pension, why not to get lump sum payment? So he converted the monthly pension. On 1st Feb 2021, he gets 80% of the pension commuted for rupees 16 lakh. Now, question simply says compute taxable pension of Y for the AY 21-22, assuming, now there are two different assumptions. Suppose you assume that he has received a gratuity of 3 lakh. And suppose he has not received any gratuity. That's it. This is the question, which I will do. You please read it question. If you want to note it down, you should note it down. Y retired on 30th June 20 from a private job. After retirement, he started receiving pension of 40,000 per month. On 1st Feb 21, he gets 80% of the pension commuted for rupees 16 lakh. Compute taxable pension of Y for the assessment year 21-22, assuming. So there are two different answers. There will be two different answers. There can be two different answers because there are two different assumptions. Suppose in first instance, he has received a gratuity of 3 lakh, and if he has not received any gratuity. I hope you have noted down this question. Please raise your hand if you have noted down this question. Okay, so I'm proceeding now, and let us start solving it. So can anyone tell me that how we should proceed? How we should proceed?
So we should calculate the pension that has been received uncommuted.
Yes. So this is first thing. That how much is uncommuted pension? So this is first point. That how much is uncommuted pension? So tell me how much is uncommuted compute? How much is uncommuted pension?
So 3,20,000.
So let others check also. Please check whether 3,20,000 is the correct answer or not. I am computed uncommuted. Okay, check whether 280 is correct or not. Let everyone try to check rather than totally dependent on me. If I have told you the theory, then you should apply your own mind. That how much is uncommuted pension? Check the answer. Check the answer whether 280 is correct answer or not. I am asking uncommuted pension in the hands of Y, which is taxable. Because question is 280. Let everyone check. Is 280 correct or not? Or is there anyone who is getting different answer? Those who are getting 280, please raise your hands. 280 is wrong answer, by the way. (280) is wrong answer, by the way. Check the correct answer. Read the question carefully. Read the concept yourself. You can read the act
Sir, is
now
it
yourself.
680?
Is it 2 lakh?
No, 680.
680 is wrong answer. I am asking for only uncomputed pension.
1,20,000.
Wrong. Think logically. It's only 4-line
Sir,
question.
4 lakh.
एक मिनट रुको, मैं चेक करता हूँ कि मैं तो गलत नहीं बता रहा हूँ. Let me check because no one is getting the correct answer. No, wrong answer. Let me see who can compute the correct answer. Think logically. You have the question in front of you. And think logically that how much is uncomputed pension which is taxable in the hands of Y for the assessment year 21-22. It's very simple. Think logically. Any answer? I'm waiting for you to compute the answer.
Sir, 3,20,000.
Wrong.
Sir, 2,96,000.
296 is the correct answer. How? How 296? Or why 296?
So 40 into 7, so 280 and plus 16,000 because
Now pension starts after retirement, so that is sure. Pension starts after retirement. If I retired in June, then I will get first pension in July. I hope it is clear. So from July 2020 till July, August, September, October, November, December, Jan, for 7 months. For 7 months, pension was this. Ultimately, I have to compute the figure on yearly basis. So per month pension is taxable. So for 7 months, 280 is taxable. From 1st Feb, I converted 80% pension, but still, what is still left? 20% is still uncommuted. I only agreed that rather than getting, see what I agreed, that rather than getting 40,000, the employee, because 40,000 is given when? Infinite, up to death. So I don't know, or no one knows when the employee will die. So 40,000 till death. In fact, after death also family pension is given to the dependent person. So neither employee knows when that employee will die, nor employer knows when this employee will die. So they made a contract. It's like taking a risk that rather than getting 40,000 up to infinite, employee agrees to settle down for 16,000. If within 2 days or within 2 months employee dies, then employee is in benefit. And if suppose employee continues to live long for so many years, then employer is in benefit. But he made a contract not to convert 100% pension. He says that 40,000 into 80%. That rather than receiving 32,000 per month, up to infinite, employee says to the employer that give me 16 lakh, that's it. But still, employee is saying that I will continue receiving how much? 8,000 per month from Feb onwards. And that is why I will say that for Feb 21, because my year ends on 31st March 21, and March 21, the pension uncommuted will not be 40,000, it will be 40,000 into 20%. That means 8,000 into 2 months, 16,000. So my total uncommuted pension for the previous year 21-22 is 2,60,000. You should have read the question carefully. That was only to convert English into Hindi or in whatever regional language you are comfortable. It was simple. On 1st Feb, he gets 80% commuted. So by default, it means what? 20% remains uncommuted. So from 1st Feb, the amount which was 40,000 per month, from 1st Feb, it will become 8,000 per month. Please raise your hand if this uncommuted point is clear. We are still left with tax treatment of commuted value. Please raise your hand if uncommuted pension is clear. Okay, so most of you are clear in this uncommuted taxable value calculations. Any problem? I think no. Now next point. We have computed only uncommuted. We are still left with commuted. So now let us check how much commuted is taxable. So I computed uncommuted value. Now I will check commuted pension. Now in commuted pension, there are two possibilities, possibility A and possibility B. What is possibility A or situation A? When employee receives gratuity, why receives a gratuity? Not a gratuity, why receives gratuity also? Now can you tell me how much is taxable commuted pension? Or let me tell you. Why receives gratuity? Now I told you that when someone receives gratuity, and in this case the employee is not a government employee, employee is a non-government employee, so I will use this concept. Had the employee been government, I would have made entire 16 lakh, which is commuted pension received, as tax-free. But since the employee is non-government, employee receives gratuity also. So my exemption is what? What is written? Exemption is how much? 1/3 of commuted value. 1/3 of commuted value. Now how do we compute it? How do we compute it? When 80%, it's simple mathematics, when 80% pension was commuted, employee got 16 lakh. For 80%, I agreed to settle down for 16 lakh. Had there been 1%, for 1% commutation, it would have been this. And had I agreed for 100% conversion, it would have been how much? How much?
20 lakh.
This is notional value. In reality, 20 lakh is not relevance. It is notional value. It is commuted value. Or you can say it is full value of commuted pension. It is notional value only. It's hypothetical. In reality, this 20 lakh has no relevance. Neither employer is giving this, nor employee is receiving this. But exemption is dependent on this notional value. When for 80% employee was willing to accept 16 lakh, assuming that employee agreed for 100% conversion, he would have received 20 lakh. I hope this point is clear. Now this into 1/3 is the exemption. So my exemption is 1/3 of full value. Since employee is receiving gratuity also, exemption is 1/3 of this full value. This is how you compute this full value. So your exempted value will be how much? 6,66,667. And now I will say that in case of situation A, when employee receives gratuity, the commuted pension received is in real life or in actual situation, commuted pension received is 16 lakh. But exemption does not depend on only actual receiving. It depends on some notional value. And this is value which is 666,667 exempt. How much commuted pension is taxable now? It is 9,33,333. So I can say that total pension taxable in the hands of Y. Total pension taxable in the hands of Y for the assessment year 2021-22. How much? Uncommuted, total means total. Uncommuted 296, commuted 933,333. So this is the value which I will show in my final column. This is the total pension which I will show in my final column when I will compute salary, that 12,29,333 is the amount of taxable pension in the hands of Y. So 12,29,333. Please raise your hand if the concept is clear. If not, ask me the doubt. Okay, so most of you are clear with this concept. It is not difficult, but yes, it requires some practice. That commuted exemption depends on hypothetical value. Now in B point, what will happen? Suppose employee does not receive gratuity, everything will remain same. What will be the change? If employee does not receive gratuity, then what will happen? If employee does not receive gratuity, then what will happen? Uncommuted remains same, there is no change. But for commuted, there will be change. Out of 16 lakh received, how much is exempt? More, 50% is exemption, one half of commuted value, full value, 20 lakh. So now my exemption will be a little bit high because I'm getting only this benefit of pension. So government gives me more exemption so that I'm having more disposable income with me, 6 lakh. And in this case, the total taxable pension in the hands of Y for the assessment year will be uncommuted 296, commuted 6. So my answer in that case will become 896. That's it. With this, my pension point is clear. Any problem, please ask. Otherwise, raise your hands. So let us have 2 to 3 minutes break, and you join me back within 3 minutes. We will start another retirement benefit, leave encashment. So we are taking a break for 3 minutes. Join back within 3 to 4 minutes maximum. Please raise your hand if you are available. Please raise your hand if everyone is available. So most of you are available. Great. So now what we have covered? We have covered, or we now know the tax treatment of two retirement benefits. Gratuity and pension. Within pension only old pension scheme. New pension scheme I will discuss later on, not now. New pension scheme we will discuss in the chapter of deductions under section 80, 11th chapter. So right now I am not discussing new pension scheme. Detailed concept of new pension scheme will be used there, so not now. So I'm assuming that pension is over, and you also assume that pension is over, ignoring new pension scheme for the time being. Now I'm discussing with you my third retirement benefit, which is leave encashment. As the name suggests, leave encashment, it is those leaves which are encashed, earned leaves, EARNED, earned leaves. So many different leaves are available to the employees in a job. It might be casual leave which can be availed for any purpose. It might be medical leave, academic leave, duty leave. There are different types of leaves. These leaves are not earned leaves. Leave encashment is talking about only earned leaves, leaves which can be earned, which can be encashed, which can be surrendered to the, you earn the leaves. If you are doing the job, if you have not taken the leave, that means you earned that leave. You have with you some leaves which you can give to the employer. An employer will give you some amount. These are known as earned leaves. Different sector employees are getting different types of earned leaves. In some sectors, 30 days earned leaves in a year is allowed. In some sectors, 12-day earned leaves in a year is allowed. So depending upon the case to case. But tax treatment is same. So I'm going to discuss now with you the tax treatment of these leaves which are encashed by the employee. So let me discuss the tax treatment of this leave encashment. Normally we use the words leave encashment. Leave encashment. So let us discuss the tax treatment of leave encashment. What is leave encashment? Encashment of leave surrendering to one's credit is leave encashment. When you surrender your leave to the employer, an employer gives you cash or bank in amount in your bank account, whatever is the case, that is leave encashment. You can surrender leave to the employer only. If you have leave in your credit, you can go to the market, and if you purchase anything, and you say to the shopkeeper that take my leave, he says that that is not relevant for me, you give me the money. So leave can be encashed only from the employer, not from any other party. For other person, that is useless thing. There is no use of that point. So leave encashment can be from the employer only. So again, there are different points. When you are encashing that leave, are you encashing that leave at the time of retirement or leaving the job? or during continuity. Just like in gratuity, I made two headings, that whether it is encashed at the time of retirement or leaving the job. Second option is these are encashed during continuity of job, continuity of employment. In gratuity, I wrote a different point at the time of death also. But now, here in case of at the time of death, we have a separate provision. At the time of death, we have separate concept. So unlike gratuity, I'm not merging death in this category. Okay. In leave encashment, death encashment of leave at the time of death is having separate tax treatment. Here it is fully exempt. Fully exempt. It does not matter who the employee is. Government, non-government does not matter. Fully exempt. In continuity, it was same like gratuity. It is fully taxable. It does not matter who the employee is. It is fully taxable. So at the time of retirement or leaving the job, there are two different situations. Is the employee government employee? Fully exempt, tax free. So now you can see what is the benefit of joining a government job. So many things are tax free. Not so many, but most of the retirement benefits are tax free. In case of non-government employee, exemption is available, but it depends on some points. So in leave encashment during continuity, fully taxable at the time of death, fully exempt. It does not matter who the employees are in these two situations, continuity or leaving, continuity or at the time of death. At the time of retirement or leaving this job with the employer who is, which is giving you leave encashment, then it matters who you are. Are you a government employee? If yes, fully exempt. If you are a non-government employee, then your exemption depends on least of the 4 points. In gratuity, we were computing 3 points, but now we will compute 4 points. So here, I will say that out of gratuity received, I hope the font size is visible. In case you think that it is small, please tell me, otherwise I will continue with this font size. Out of gratuity received, least of the following is exempt. Least of the following is exempt. First point, cash equivalent of leave salary on the basis of cash equivalent of leave salary on the basis of leave at the credit of the employee. And actual year of service or completed year of service. But do remember that your leave entitlement cannot exceed 30 days for actual year of service or for completed year of service. 30 days per year for each completed year of service. This is my first point. Cash equivalent of leave salary on the basis of leave at the credit of the employee and completed years of service. Within bracket, you have to note down this point that leave entitlement cannot exceed 30 days per year for each completed year of service. Second point, 10 months salary. Third point, rupees 3 lakh fixed by the government. And fourth point, leave encashment actually received. Can you tell me the relevance of this 3 lakh rupees? What is the relevance of this 3 lakh?
So the maximum government wants to exempt.
So I can say that this exemption of leave encashment in the hands of the employee will never exceed 3 lakh in any circumstance. Now these are the 4 points. Now again, let us discuss some notes. What different points mean? First note, what is salary? What is salary? In this case, salary is same which was there in gratuity when employee was not covered. So this is the best way to learn these things. Can you tell me what was the salary when the employee was not covered under Payment of Gratuity Act 1972?
So basic salary plus DNS allowance and commission as a percentage of turnover.
No, not only DNS allowance. I should use the word DNS allowance forming part. Simple using the word DA is wrong then. Commission based on fixed percentage of turnover achieved by the employee. Again, not fixed commission. Commission indirectly is variable here. Percentage is fixed. Percentage is fixed, but commission is variable. This is my salary for the purpose of leave encashment, non-government employee, and when I'm computing exemption, first point. Second, salary is to be taken for 10 months. Till the date of retirement. Salary is to be taken for 10 months till the date of retirement. Now, in case of gratuity also, when employee was not covered, if you remember, I was taking 10 months salary. But can you notice the difference here? That what is the difference in this 10 months, in these 10 months and those 10 months?
So those 10 months were the months preceding the month of retirement. Here it is till the date of retirement. So basically it also includes the month of retirement.
Yeah, this is the example. Now I hope you can listen. There was some break in connection. Is my voice coming?
Yes.
For example, if an employee retires on 31st December 2020, do you know salary will be taken for which month? Salary from when? When to when? Salary from?
March to December.
Yes. Salary from, or more precisely, I should say salary from 1st March 20 till 31st December 2020 will be considered, will be taken. Had it been gratuity An employee who is not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act, I would have taken in that case salary from Feb to November. Is this point clear? If yes, please raise your hand. Had it been gratuity not covered, my 10 months would have been from Feb to November. In case of leave encashment, in the same example, my 10 month salary will be from March to December. I hope the point is clear.
So one small doubt. In the previous slide, you wrote out of gratuity received the least of the following will be examined.
What?
So can you open the previous slide once?
Yes.
Yeah, sir. In non-government employee, you have written out of gratuity received.
Where? Oh, so that was only a mistake.
Okay.
It is not gratuity, of course, it is leave encashment. I cannot write because I'm discussing leave encashment, so I cannot write it. It is leave encashment. But yeah, thanks for telling. It is leave encashment. It shows that you all are having concentration on this which is going on. So that's great. Now, this is next point that what is salary, and salary is to be taken for 10 months. Now, how will I compute average monthly salary? I will need average monthly salary here also. So of course, simple. Total 10 month salary divided by 10 will be, of course, it's very simple, average monthly salary. Then next point which starts is how to calculate leave at the credit. Calculation of leave at the credit. How do you compute leave at the credit? How do I know that how many leaves are at the credit of the employee? Can you think logically that how leaves at the credit will be calculated without knowing the provision? If I ask you that if you have done a job in the company for 25 years, when you retire, how leave at the credit will be calculated? Can anyone tell me how leave at the credit will be calculated? Simple plus minus. What should I do to calculate leave at the credit?
Total leaves granted minus the total leaves taken.
Yeah, of course. It's very simple. So in the language of the act, I will write the word. Rather than granted, I'm simply writing the word leave entitlement minus leave availed. Taken means availed. So what you have said is 100% correct. I'm using now act language, leave availed. This will give me leave credit. Leave at my credit. But now what I need to check is this entitlement. This is the point. If you remember my first point, this leave entitlement cannot exceed 30 days per year for each completed year of service. This is the main point. For example, my employer is giving me 45 days per year. Though it does not happen in real life, but suppose my employer is a very good-hearted person and giving me 45 days of leaves per year, which I can avail and for which my salary will not be deducted. So my leave entitlement per year is 45, but Income Tax Act says it cannot exceed 30 days per year. So I will not write 45, I will write 1 month. And I will multiply it by completed year of service because I need to check the total leave availed during the entire year of service. So in 1 year, the maximum entitlement in real life can be anything. But Income Tax Act says maximum it cannot exceed 1 month. So if your leave entitlement by the employer, given by the employer is more than 1 month, you will take maximum 1 month to compute total leave entitlement. If leave entitlement is less than 1 month, for example 10 days, then you will take of course 10 days. But maximum leave entitlement cannot exceed 30 days for each completed year of service. So if my year of service is 25 years, my company is giving me 45 days per year, what will be my leave entitlement? Not as per company's policy, but as per Income Tax Act. How many months are leave entitlement? Can you tell me in this example? If my company is giving me 45 days per year as leave entitlement, and I have done a job of completed 25 years of service, during the entire service, how many months are leave entitlement in my record?
25.
25, of course. Because for one, my company is giving me 45 days. Act says no, it is of no use to us. Maximum 1 month. If your service total 25 years, then in these 25 years, your leave entitlement is 25 months. Availed is always on actual basis. What you have actually availed, of course, that will be deducted. And difference is leave at the credit. Fifth point, here also completed year word is used. What do you mean by completed year of service? And there is no in excess of 6 months. So what I will say, any fraction of the year will be ignored. X is only completed year. Suppose if my service is 25 years, 11 months, I will ignore 11 months completely. That year is of no use to me. I will count my completed year of service as 25. Please raise your hand if this theory is clear. Very good. Let us start discussing in numerical. Example, again from my book, Concept Building Approach to Income Tax Law and Practice. And now we are discussing an example from page number 2. So let me show you that example. You take this screenshot. Is Is it visible now? Not visible. Can you listen to me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So there was disconnection. So I think, I don't know whether that meeting has ended or it is continuing. I think it is still continuing. Anyhow, now please take the screenshot of this question. We will practice this example. Please raise your hand when you take the screenshot so that I can start discussing this case with you. Have you all taken the screenshot? Please raise your hand. Okay. Let us now start discussing this point. Now you have to read this question from the screenshot which you have taken. X was employed with A Limited, that means non-government employee, till 31st July 2002. 31st July 2002, which is not in my previous year. It was around 19 years ago where I was doing some job. From where, when his job was terminated, he received the leave encashment of 2,70,000. That means in 2002-3. The question was talking about in 2002-3, when he left any job with a private company, he received 2,70,000, out of which 84,000 was exempt from tax in the previous year 2-3. At that time also the same provisions of calculating exemptions were applied, of course, and 84,000 became exempt in the previous year 2-3. After some years, he joined P Limited, another private company, from where he has received leave encashment of 5,04,170 from his employer on 31st December 2020. Now this is relevant for me. On 31st December 2020, when I retired, I received leave encashment of 5,04,170. Now I need to check how much is exempt, how much is taxable. His basic salary during Jan 20 to June 20 was 50,000 per month, and from July 20, 60,000 per month. He has also received DNS allowance at the rate of 30% of basic salary. 70% of DNS allowance forms part of salary for computing the retirement benefits. Bonus 4,000 per month, commission from April to December. Total commission of around 9 months is 10,000. P Limited allowed 40 days. This is company's policy. Allowed 40 days for every year of service, and he has actually availed 210 days. So in real life, he has availed 210 days. On the basis of the policy of the company, he is entitled for 460 days. How the company has computed 460 days? 40 days into 11 years of job. Why 11 years? It is mentioned in the last line that he has retired after servicing the company for 11 years and 6 months. So company's policy says 40 days per year. So 40 into 11 plus 6 months, that means half year. So 20 days. On this basis, company is giving 460 days during his service, and thus he has a credit of 250 days in his credit at the time of retirement. There is some continuous net problem in the office today, so you have to manage The moment net goes, I stop talking. Okay, so we are joining back at the same point. So he has a credit of 250 days. I should not be confused with this. I'm concerned about what? My income tax act provisions. Compute his taxable leave encashment and taxable salary. Now, not only taxable leave encashment, examiner is asking you to compute taxable leave, taxable salary also for the assessment year 21-22, assuming that he has retired after servicing the. Now, let us start solving it. Is still the slide visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, one thing is sure that the employee is non-government because P limited. Retired in my previous year. So many things we have to check before you proceed further. Retired in the previous year 2020-21 and receiving some leave encashment and received leave encashment. So this is sure that leave is encashed at the time of retirement. Had it been at the time of death or continuity, it would have been exempt or taxable respectively. But since it is at the time of retirement, it depends government or non-government now. Since employee is not a government employee, so I should compute the tax treatment as what? Out of how much leave encashment? Out of 5,04,170. Received as leave encashment. Least of the following is exempt from tax. First point, second point, third point, and fourth point. Fourth is very simple. How much is leave encashment? 504,170 being the amount of leave encashment received. Third point is also very simple, rupees 3 lakh being the amount specified by the government. And now I'm directly coming to the note first. Note. Now you tell me 10 months period. Kindly tell me the 10 months period in this example. Employee retired in December. So 10 months means from 1st March 20 till 31st December 20. Is it clear? During these 10 months, how much is basic salary? Till June it was 50,000. So March, April, May, June. That means March, April, May, June. For 4 months, 50,000 plus. Thereafter it has become 60,000 into 6 months. It becomes 360 plus 2 lakh 560. I hope it is clear. How much is DA forming part? DA forming part. How much is DA forming part? It is DA is 30% of basic, 70 is forming part. So I can say how much is DA first? 30% of basic, which is 560, and whatever will be that into 70%. So how much is this value? Can you tell me? In case you face problem, you ask me. Otherwise, please tell me.
1,17,600.
1,17,600. How much is commission based on fixed percentage? How much is commission based on fixed percentage? How much is commission based on fixed percentage? Hurry up. There is no commission because that commission 10,000 is fixed. So yes, there is no fixed percentage of turnover commission. This is my salary of 10 months. It is, do the total, hurry up. We can save time because time is going to be up soon. 677, 600, I think. Now, average monthly salary is how much? Total 10 months salary is 677, 600 divided by 10. That will be rupees 67,760. I hope this calculation is clear. 67,760. Yes, it is clear. Almost the question is over. Now computation of leave at the credit. Almost the question is over. Leave at the credit. How do we compute leave at the credit? Leave entitlement minus leave availed. Leave availed was given in the question or not? No, leave availed was not given. No, yes. Leave availed was given in the question. How many days leave availed?
210.
210. And leave entitlement is how many days as per company's policies? 40 days. We are not concerned with 40 days. We will give maximum 30 days. For each completed year of service, how many days are completed here? Can you tell me? 11 years or 12 completed year?
11.
11, because every fraction of the year is to be ignored. 11. So in 11 years, total entitlement is 330 minus 210 availed. So at the credit becomes 120 days, or I can simply say that, or 4 months. Okay, to simplify, I can say 120 divided by on an average 30. I should not go into the argument 30 days or 31 days or leap year or not. On an average, we divide it by 30, so I get 4 months. Leave at the credit. Is this point clear? Now suppose in this question, though 210 days were given, had 210 days not given, could you, or if there is no mention of this point that 210 days is the leave at the credit, can we calculate in this case leave availed ourselves? Suppose leave availed is not given, don't you think that we can, or we could have easily calculated leave availed?
Oh yes,
When
so
we will,
460
yeah,
minus 250.
yes, leave availed will be totally based upon actual provisions, not Income Tax Act. Income Tax Act is not concerned about leave availed. They say that you go as per company's policy then. So as per company's policy, leave entitlement is how many days? 460 less leave availed balancing figure, because as per company's policy, I know how much is leave credit. How many days is leave credit? How many days are leave credit as per company's policy? 250. Yeah, so I could have easily computed 210. While computing leave availed, I will apply actual provisions of employer. Fortunately, in this question, 210 was given, but still, had it not been given, I would have easily computed it by going actual leave entitlement, by going actual leave credit. The difference would have been actual leave availed. Everything would have been actual. Please raise your hand if it is clear that had there been no leave availed given in some questions, I will apply the provisions and concepts and I can easily compute leave availed. Because while applying income tax provision, leave availed is required. Very good. Next point now. So question is almost over. 4 months leave credit. Average monthly salary is 67,760. So you come back to the question. What is my first point? First point simply says leave at the credit, which is 4 months, and monthly salary is 67,760. That's it. 67,760 is average monthly salary multiplied by credit months 4. So my first point is 67,760 into 4. 271,040, and this bracket you can write being cash equivalent of leave, salary, etc., etc. This should be right for good presentation. Second point is total 10-month salary. How much is total 10-month salary? 6,77,600 being 10-month salary. And in third point, what is new point here is that always remember that this limit of 3 lakh, in gratuity this limit was 20 lakh. These are lifetime limits of one individual. Like this employee 19 years ago has already claimed an exemption of tax of 84,000 from the tax department from leave encashment. So now he cannot claim 3 lakh again. It will be reduced by the exempted amount which he has already claimed from the tax department. This 3 lakh limit, 20 lakh limit, these are lifetime exemption of that particular benefit for that particular individual. When I left a job, I already claimed the exemption indirectly. I have received 84,000 indirectly from the tax department. So in future, I cannot say that 3 lakh is my limit. This 3 lakh or 20 lakh in case of gratuity will always be reduced by amount exempted earlier. And it seems fair also, amount exempted earlier. So this third point now becomes 2,16,000. I hope the concept is logically clear that this amount exempted earlier will always reduce your this 3 lakh limit or 20 lakh limit. Now, which is least? Here rupees 2,16,000 being the least is exempt from tax. And therefore, how much is taxable? Total leave encashment received was 504,170 minus, after applying the provisions, I found that 2,16,000 is exempt, and the difference is 178,641,812, 288,170. Please raise your hand if this concept is clear. If not, ask me the doubt.
So could you explain the third point again?
Yeah, third point is amount specified by the government. It will always be reduced by the amount exempted earlier in the case of any employee. Like in my case, this employee already claimed the exemption of 84,000 from leave encashment which he received 19 years ago from a I hope you can listen me now. When I have already claimed the exemption of this 84,000 rupees from leave encashment, which was earlier taxable in 2002-3, now when again I am getting another job and getting leave encashment, again I will not say that my limit is 3 lakh. Government says that now your limit will be read as 2,16,000. So now suppose I leave this company and I will join another company. After 3 years, I will get again leave encashment from that company. At that time, my leave encashment limit will again be lowered down by this 2,16,000. So this 3 lakh or 20 lakh in case of gratuity is the lifetime limit of that benefit of any particular individual. Always it will be reduced by the amount exempted earlier of that particular benefit. Point clear or not?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay, so in future I can say that there will be no leave encashment exemption, because again he is getting 2,16,000 as exemption, and when in future he join another job, he will again compute leave encashment exemption. His leave exempted, this amount exempted will be 3 lakh minus 84 minus 2,16,000. So it will become 0. So now this is the last time when this employee is getting exemption from the tax department. After this, there will be no exemption to this person for leave encashment. Is it clear? Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I will take 2 to 3 minutes more. Please, you must be having another lecture also, or not? बोलो भी जल्दी वेट क्यों कर रहे हो? You have another lecture also, or not?
No, sir.
Okay, then please wait for 5 minutes. Now in the same question, now let us compute computation of taxable salary. After this, we will wind up this session. Of X for the assessment year 2021-22. Now gradually we will increase the speed of taxation because the course of tax is very lengthy, and the moment you get a little bit comfortable, we will increase the speed also. Now let us start computing the answer. How much is basic salary? Now if I am saying assessment year 21-22, that means I am saying previous year 2021. Previous year 2021. Now what is basic salary? This you have to tell me. What is basic salary? How much will be basic salary? Hurry up. $50,000 into how many months? April, May, June. Okay. So into 3 months. April, May, June. Plus July, August, September, October, November, December. My exemption working is over. Now I'm not computing any exemption. I'm computing taxable salary. It is rupees 60,000 into 6. So that will be
5,10,000.
5 lakh 10. Yes, very good. Then what other benefits I am earning? DNS allowance. Can you tell me how much DNS allowance? I will write here. Think logically. How much DNS allowance I will write here? Think logically.
30%.
Very good. 30% of what?
5,10,000.
Very good. I will not say that 70% into 30% of 5 lakh 10, because that 70% is only for the purpose of computing exemption. In reality, my earning is how much? 30% of 5 lakh 10. That forming part is only to compute some exemption. But if someone asks me that how much you are receiving in your bank account, then I'm receiving this much amount, 30% of 5 lakh 10. Point clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So many students commit mistake in this point. They here also take 70%. No, because now the concept is changed. You are computing now taxable salary, not any exemption. Bonus. Will I take bonus or not now? Will I take bonus or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
because
sir.
it is not any exemption going on. Now I am computing taxable salary. So these things might look simple, but it requires conceptual clarity from your side. Commission. Of course, everything is included now. It's not any commission based on fixed percentage because you are computing income from the employer. So commission is how much for these months? 10,000. Any other point? Taxable leave encashment. Note 1. That is what the use of computing those exemption, and I have computed that exemption 288,170. Is there any other thing given in this question? I think not. So do the total. This total is known as gross salary. Now this is how gradually we will move to full-fledged question. How much is gross salary?
997,170.
Very good. 997,170. From this, what I will deduct? Can you tell me? Deductions under which
50,000.
section? Yes, under section 16, I told you, and that is flat. I call it as standard deduction, 50,000. This is my income under the head salary. And that is 9,47,170. 947,170. This is what the question is, and you can take the screenshot, or if you are noting down, you please tell me. Otherwise, raise your hand if it is clear. Today we have covered most of the concepts. Please raise your hand if we have covered lengthy, or you can say technical concepts today. Gratuity completed, pension almost completed except new pension, and leave encashment almost completed. These are the lengthiest topic which are known as in the topic of salaries head. Please raise your hand if it is clear. Okay, so let us have the attendance, and that's all from my side. Goodbye.